Alright guys, we are back for another Dokkan Battle video. We've got a lot to talk about. So Dokkan Frontier dropped tonight. I have done a stream completing the entirety of it, right? So as of right now, I believe there is only... Well, here, we could just jump in game and take a look at the map. There's, I think it's 15 stages overall is what it is. There's 11... kind of like main story stages, and then they have little little extra points where we fight like one of the main characters. So this is really good. Like these extra fights are where we're fighting kind of like the super class version, which I think is really awesome, right? So it's like, you know, we do get the fight Scout or Vegeta in here. We do fight Krillin and Gohan. We fight Scout or Vegeta again, and then we do have a fight up here against First Form Frieza, right? So even though it's continuing through like a lot of the major portions of the story with a lot of the voiced like cutscenes and stuff like that in there, we do actually fight super class characters too, which is good. Maybe they could have made it to where stage 11-1 could have been where we fight Goku. That could have been a good one. I feel like Goku probably should have been a fight already, but I mean, I'm sure there will be numerous Goku fights once we get towards the end, and we're, you know, full power Frieza, Namek Super Saiyan Goku, all that good stuff. So there's just a lot to talk about with this mode. I have minimal complaints. I found this to be very enjoyable overall, right? So each stage we would jump into, you know, we do select two separate teams, right? There's the Group A and the Group B. I felt like that system was pretty fun. I think really one of my main complaints, I would say though, is probably, well, I don't know. I mean, it's just kind of like the way, it is, but I feel like this kind of like, here, let me just put these up so we can see like the actual translations right here, right? So, the group exchange, and then the heal, and then the group exchange, and then the stats. I don't know. I mean, looking through a lot of it, a lot of the fights didn't even really require to exchange too much. And you do get an additional charge when you do a Dokkan attack, which, I mean, we saw a couple of times in this mode, right? What, turn 4, turn 5 Dokkan attack? So I guess it's okay. But maybe that charge system being a little bit better. I guess we were still kind of in like a earlier portion of the saga, right? Like we're still only, I mean, of the overall Namek events of Namek, we're probably still under halfway, I think, because obviously the fight against Frieza is very long, you know, first, second, third Final Form, and then full power Final Form Frieza. So it does go through quite a long, so much before. Now, I did mention this too, but I did do like a, I don't know what to call it. Like I played like a beta version of this at the Community Fest. What was that now? That was what, about 8 months or so ago now? And the beta version I played was actually further along than even this story goes. I think it might have been like map 6 potentially, but where we were that we played, it was just a map. I think it looked maybe similar to this, but it was every node was like Final Form Frieza, and then the last like fight we did ended with a cutscene of Namek Goku doing his Spirit Bomb. I don't think that there was any cutscenes of animations in any of these fights, right? But there is a lot of voice lines for the characters talking to each other, which I thought actually was super sick. I did really love that. So again, overall, I would think that they did a really good job with this. I'm actually quite surprised, I would say, right? So here's what I said. So Dokkan Frontier is incredible. Surprised they actually cooked something this fun. Think the mode will be so fun once the roster of characters we could use is expanded. So here's kind of like my major criticism, right? Would be for any of these stages, you know, we go into, it's Planet Namek Saga, so we can only use Planet Namek Saga characters. That part, I don't have a problem with, right? Like, okay, it's a Namek Saga, so we could only use Namek characters. I don't think that's an issue. What I do think is a little bit more of an issue, though, besides that, I wish, can we hide the damn special, like, I do not care to see the special guest thing. I just want to see my characters, damn it. Okay, anyway, but um I don't mind only having to use Namek characters in Namek Saga, or in the future only using Boo characters against the Boo Saga Dokkan Frontier. I don't think there's an issue with that. Not at all. What I do think is the problem here is that they did Namek Saga as the first Dokkan Frontier, but Namek is not like a category that they have heavily dropped many characters in or something like that, right? Not at all. Namek has actually really been very sparsely touched for many years, and then when they did do Namek stuff, it was pretty weak, right? Like, these two characters, I mean, their EZs are a little underwhelming even before. By the way, there's some of the new effects. You can see the differences in the way the card looks with the new effects. I think this system certainly is pretty cool. We'll talk more about this in a second, but like that, like drop, like that 2024 Namek celebration was like really quite weak, right? So I do think that this maybe would have landed a little bit better for a lot of players. Would have been had we were actually jumping into like a Majin Buu Saga Dokkan Frontier. I think if this was doing the start of the Majin Buu Saga instead, this would be quite a bit better. That's what I think. That this should have been, like, they should have started with, you know, the start of the Buu Saga Dokkan Frontier, and then, you know, with the, you know, if we just back out and take a look at the Majin Buu Saga, I mean, you know, I know people would say, like, oh, they haven't done Kid Buu yet, but, I mean, STR Kid Buu at least does have good animations, right? It's like, Buu Saga is so gargantuan. They've covered almost every single, like, character here. Like, major character that we would fight in there, especially now with, you know, Yakan, Pui Pui, and Deborah getting, like, these, like, modern TURs with good animations. They've covered almost everything for this arc, right? Like, it's literally almost everything is covered. So they could have, like, jumped in, and we would have been, you know, fighting, like, all these different characters and stuff, using these different characters and setups. I think that would have, like, so, okay. So in my box, right, so we've got 364 characters. So I'm just counting, like, unique arts. So I don't have, like, any, like, duplicates or anything in here. There's 364 kind of, like, characters and arts, at least, that I have right there. What is it for Namek Saga? 141. Yeah. You see, almost 3 times as many characters in Buu Saga. And a lot of these Namek Saga cards, too, it is just, like, these golden Friezas. Right, like, that are just, like, awakenings, and how many R's and SR's and shit from when the game first dropped. I mean, we do have the new Dende, and I guess we could segue into talking about some of these new free-to-play characters. These were the mission rewards. So there is the Dende. We have the 2 Gokus right here. Well, I guess, you know, the TUR Goku, and then I do have the SSR Goku right here as well. I think right now is probably an appropriate time. I'm just going to go ahead and rainbow him quickly here. Both stages of this Goku. So let's just go ahead and do that. And then there's also the Krillin as well. I'll probably give that Goku some equips in a sec. So we've got that set up, and then there's also the Krillin. This is the other free-to-play character. These are all characters we got via missions from the Dokkan Frontier event. This is good, and certainly, I mean, I remember when Dragon Ball Story first came out, and it started with Saiyan Saga, and we got version ZLR Goku, and it was like, wow, is every single Dragon Ball story going to give a free-to-play LR? And, I mean, only the first one ever did, right? I believe. Well, no, because I guess, like, there is, like, the Goku, Bulma, and Krillin over a couple different Dragon Ball stories that led to an LR, but, like, originally we thought, like, I was like, oh, damn, could, like, every Dragon Ball story, like, introduce, like, a new, like, free-to-play LR or something like that. If the Dokkan Frontier, if every section of Dokkan Frontier would introduce a new free-to-play LR, that would be pretty sick, along with a number of free-to-play characters that just kind of, like, I don't know, spruce things up. Because this is the first Namek Krillin in this outfit. I mean, there is the LR. So, see, like, here, let's just go, so this is Namek and Earthling, both selected. And that's what we have right there. So you see what I'm saying with this is the first Krillin from Namek that's in his outfit when he first shows up, right? The other ones we have, like, that, this just goes to show how barely populated the roster is for these characters. There is so much that they probably should have done before starting with Planet Namek Saga. But I think the two things, the survival mode, which is the survival mode or survival difficulty or whatever, that is what it is when we do the two teams, right? Each character has their own HP bar. That's kind of like the survival mode. And then Dokkan Frontier utilizes that mode, and then it's kind of like this, you know, big map feature. I think it's really good, though. And I think as they further, you know, add more stuff, it's going to be pretty fun. Like, imagine if the next Dokkan Fest that comes out is, you know, let's just say it's something probably maybe like a little bit past the section we're on now. So like a little bit past the section we're on now, but not like before it. So I don't know, maybe like some type of like Nail and Piccolo, or maybe Vegeta, right? Like if we go back actually to what we are just looking at with Namek, this Vegeta, well, I mean, yeah, this guy right here. But the Vegeta, this version, that's the one basically that fights Captain Ginyu, sort of. Ginyu and Jace is what they use for that one. But, like, this version of Vegeta right here, like, is, like, barely... Like, he has, like, a couple of interesting attacks and stuff like that he does against Final Form Frieza. They could drop a Dokkan Fest of that base form Vegeta, right? Just as an example of, like you know, because the next Namek thing could come out, and people would legitimately, I think, be very excited because thinking about being able to use it in this mode, right? So I'm definitely really looking forward to that. But obviously, we do need... Namek to get, you know, buffed quite a bit, I think, before the rest of this continues. Okay, is there anything else I kind of want to talk about? I mean, I guess, I probably would like to do, like, a guide and stuff. Maybe this is just going to be kind of, like, my initial impressions. But yeah, continuing this, you know, this mode will be so fun once the roster of characters we could use is expanded. Like, the Dragon Ball Super Future Trunks arc, Dokkan Frontier, would be unbelievably hard, right? Like, a lot of different arcs like that, as they've got all these, like, better rosters available than what we... Like, if they would try and do OG Dragon Ball, or, like, one of the arcs in OG Dragon Ball, or if they tried to do Saiyan Saga or Namek Saga, it would just feel incomplete. A lot of GT would be like that as well, by the way. There's, like, there needs to be, like, a solo Super Saiyan Goten card. There needs to be, like, Rildo needs, like, a real card, like a modern-day Dokkan Fest. There's so much they need to do for a lot of the GT stuff, so I really would have rather they would have started with, like, one of these sagas that's more complete, but I feel like the overall style of gameplay and stuff in here, let's just kind of, like, jump, like, way ahead, like, randomly into, like, a section where we're fighting. I just felt like this was so much fun. I really enjoyed this. A lot of people were kind of spooked, by the way, by the major debuffs. Oh, of course, I click on a moment where I'm doing that. I just wanted to show, like, gameplay, but like the major debuffs that these bosses can hit us with. But a lot of those are just really, like, once you get super far in the intensity meter, which is not really something that, like, I think is going to happen if we're kind of, like, smartly sort of, like, swapping and switching around, right? I don't really think that's going to be too much of an issue. So, yeah, I mean, they definitely cooked with this mode. I think there's no doubt about it. I absolutely love this. Okay, so we have this. This was all of the missions, right? Beat it, you know, stage 1 to 11. Here's where we get all the free-to-play cards. Oh! You know what? There is one thing I did quickly want to mention. Let me just go to me clearing any one of these stages here. Is this it? Are we done? I went a little too far. Okay, the feather. Right now, the feather, we can't use this currency. Do they mention this in the news? I do want to also do a video kind of talking about this, like, celebration kind of, like, campaign thing. It's probably in here. An event where you can experience new battles like never before is here. Try out the new survival mode. Remember, yeah, so Dokkan Frontier and survival mode, remember, are two separate things, right? It will require more careful strategy than any battle so far. Relive the story of Namek through the new battle system. Okay, yep, and then how to play survival mode. Yeah, so there's that. I'm looking for the item. Let's talk about the item. Yeah, so no items or support memories are allowed. No continues. There's the node missions and the general missions. Yep, we got those. The node missions lead to these. We should go over that before we finish. Then here's the free-to-play characters. Special guests do not count towards missions require specific characters to be included in your team. I think some people would be upset about this, but this is where I would say this mode is not intended for like newer players and stuff. Like and I think that this would be frustrating if it's like, you know, we just open this up and it's like, okay, you better have this guy or else you can't do missions. I feel like that would feel a little bit worse, right? Like it's not like they're telling you to have like the most recent character to do these missions, right? Like these are missions. Like it's like Scouter Vegeta, I think is the big one. The AGL Scouter Vegeta. Like you need him for several missions. And it's like if you don't have him, you can't get those special missions done. But remember, this is never going away. There's no like this isn't like, you know, the recent content of the 11th anniversary that like some of it that went away. This is staying forever. So I don't think it's a good idea to summon on like bait banners to try and get these characters or anything. I think it's good to wait, right? And then you could just get that little mission done. Because those special missions, their rewards are just the special stickers, the special effects stickers anyway. Yeah, like it's the special effects. So awakening medals required for Dokkan Awakening can be obtained from the general missions. More missions will be added in the future. Okay. Special effects for certain characters can be unlocked by completing specific missions. Depending upon the grade of the special effects, rarity of the characters, voices, background music, visual effects, and more will be available. Yep, certain characters trigger dialogue. Clear the event to obtain the treasure item Dokkan Frontier bookmark, which can be exchanged for characters who are available as general mission rewards, and awakening medals at the treasure section of Baba Shop in the future. I wonder why it's not live yet. That seems strange to me. That it's not... Yeah, you can't use the item yet. And then the event period, permanently available. That's perfect. Yeah, so there's that. Okay. Okay, so we talked about all that. This is something we could just cover later. I wanted to... Yeah, okay. So there is also panel missions here. I feel like this is kind of like an appropriate time to just get this done right here. You know, we rainbowed some of the characters here. We got the panel mission here. Clear, it's just clear all of it? No, clear up to node 6. Clear a stage of the full Dragon Ball Secret team. Oh, I did that with the Ginyu Force team. Yeah, because there is one where you have to do a Ginyu Force team. Clear any stage of 6 Namek Saga, you have to do that. Okay. Activate an active once and clear a stage. And then complete all missions. Okay. So we can just go ahead and grab this. Yeah, it was so funny. I was streaming earlier and some guy came in and said, approximately how many stones does the event give? I was like, what? I don't know. Bro, I never pay attention to stones, man. My bad. Dude, I'm still laughing about that guy's comment. He said, approximately how many does it give? It's like, dude. let me just count it all up for you right here on the spot, man. Bro, it's so silly, so silly. Alright, so we got that. We got the panel missions done, rainbow the characters. I gave my thoughts. I thought that this was quite good overall, though, chat. I think they did a really good job with this, and it's going to be fun. You know, I think it is kind of fun using some of these different characters. It's just, again, I would say that the portion of the series they picked is just not a portion that Dokkan has kind of like spammed releasing characters and stuff, right? So, you know, again, just not to go over and over, but like a different point where we were able to use like more characters, stuff like that. Like Boo Saga, Universe's Rival Saga, when we do that one will be fun as well. You know, shit like that. So, let me know what you guys think of Dokkan Frontier. But, you know, kind of surprisingly, I do think Dokkan really cooked. I think that they cooked very heavily with this Dokkan Frontier mode. So, we'll finish up right there. Let me know what you guys think. Thanks guys for watching, and I'll catch y'all next time.